Hello, I'm Carla Richards.
And I'm Brittany Lysing.
And I'm Lena Newman.
And
this
is
Life
Pairings. Because life is hard.
So pair with alcohol.
Or Academy Award nominated films.
Ooh.
So we're going to sniff. We're going to swirl. And we're going to sip. And we're going to spit. Oh, wait. No. We're not doing that. No one's spitting wine, tasting wine out. No.
What are we,
we'll just
hooligans?
drink all three of these and then have another one. As today's life pairing is wine tasting with tasting wine.
We discuss
How
ravioli,
original.
Jesus juice, and pack animals.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a bunch.
lot.
That's
It's
a
all
lot
over the
of
place.
weird things. I'm excited
It's
for this.
chaotic.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. It's just par for the course. I'm excited.
I know.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
It'll be
I've already
fun.
spilled wine, so that's great with audio equipment.
I know. I wore a white.
Carla, be
I wore a
careful.
white sweatshirt, which I was like,
Ooh.
interesting choice. For drinking and navigating a computer and a microphone and a
You know,
like this is the most.
I'm very much into that white look though right now. It's very,
The white-
like all white linen-y things, but then
Oh
I
yeah.
eat things.
I know I would like to my goal as like a look is I've just decided at a young age and have yet to achieve this. Maybe it's just like in my latter years. I just want to be flowy. I want to look like Stevie Nicks. I'm going to look like a 14-year-old boy until I
Absolutely.
look like a 70-year-old woman. That's my goal.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I long for that flow of the white linen,
yeah.
you know.
The like
just
what do they call it's like the country grandma, but this would be more like the yachty grandma look.
I want to be
there for it.
the naughty grandma look. I'm going to be one of those grandmas in fishnet stockings and a
Ooh.
Bad grandma.
Do you remember that from like Jerry Springer and all that? They'd have just like some grandma come out and she's just like, I'm 75 years old and I don't care who sees
She was
it.
like in fishnets and like
Oh.
just look like a crackhead. Yes.
And
love
Jerry
it.
was always like, don't you feel like you're embarrassing your entire family? And she's like, they can suck it. But now like I always was like, oh my God. And then now the older I get, I'm just like, you know what? She's got a point.
Mhm.
You're like,
I'm
I
always
wish I was her.
Yeah.
I
I
leave
wish
her
I was
alone.
Brenda. I wish I was Brenda from Jerry Springer in 2001.
Brenda Delvey.
Yeah. Wine tasting.
Yes.
That's what we're doing today.
Well, okay. Well,
What?
let's have
we
it.
are? Okay.
Yeah.
We
We're
are.
gonna try to
Okay.
keep it under 4 hours today, I think. That's the goal.
Oh,
Is that the goal?
That's the goal. Yeah, we're not
Okay,
gonna. We're
alright.
gonna.
We're
This will be
filming
20.
We filmed it again, guys. We're filming it again. So
So sorry about that. You
Yeah.
have to look at our ugly ass mugs.
or you don't, you could just listen to us on this podcast.
True.
So yeah, make your choices. And then you're stuck with them. So yeah, but you're gonna watch us drink wine.
Great.
or
Cool.
water.
How do you guys feel? What's your experience with
beer.
wine testing? What does it mean to you?
I love it. I never really got into wine until I think because when I started working in a company where they had like a side thing where they own a vineyard and stuff, and so they kind of taught me a lot about wine because it feels very intimidating to get into it.
It
It's
does
sort of an
actually.
expensive habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
well,
I
and
mean-
there's like connoisseurs and sommelier. Is that what they're sommeliers?
Sommeliers, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite the big deal.
It's
I think it doesn't have to be expensive. I think that's a bit of a misnomer. If you ever talk to anybody that's like proper sommelier, they're like, I know some really, really good $20 bottles of wine.
right, but the experience of
sure,
like going
totally.
to the winery.
Oh yeah. Well, and
fairly
especially if it's with
expensive.
any of you lovely ladies, we for some reason will buy all the wine and then.
But I
tempt
think that's
ourselves
what-
to the-
That's what the experience is.
it's very bougie.
Otherwise,
yeah,
why are
it
you
is very
there?
bougie. Yeah.
It's
It
a
can
bougie-
be,
and it's
for
also
sure.
like a new. It's like a new thing that I like makes
Totally.
me laugh. That everyone's like, every stag at is like, I'm going wine tasting, and I'm always like, oh God, I don't have $1,500 to commit to your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, I don't now. I'm just like starting to. I'm just like, no more. it's because you can just go to these places, but if you make a whole vacation of it, it's like $5,000 vacation.
Yeah.
It can
Like,
be
you have to-
for sure.
Yeah.
It can be, yeah. So I'm just like, I mean, it's nice and everything, but it is like it's an expensive little treat.
And it's a day, and it's a day of drinking,
Yeah.
It's a day
or
of drinking. Yeah, it's a
potentially
full day of
2
drinking.
days. So it's
Yeah.
it
3
takes
days
it out of you when
sometimes.
you're older.
Yeah, what's the ideal wine tasting time?
2 days.
2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Or
I
do you
don't.
mean
Yeah, I
like?
don't.
Oh yeah, 2 days. Nothing more, nothing less.
No.
Maybe
'Cause you
less.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could do 1 day. 1 day.
I'd be
would
happy with
great
1
too.
day.
it depends, I guess, where you are. Like, because usually you're going to somewhere.
That's-
You're going to Kelowna.
yeah.
You're going to Sonoma.
That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and then I was like, in which months would that be? But
Yeah.
that depends on where you're going to. So
Yeah. Yeah. I have.
Do you know what
luckily
I think
gotten
is
to
a
go-
nice?
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say wine day, beach day.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Perfect.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you could you balance it out. So because 2 wine days are big days.
I think it depends if you're not mixing that with like a nice lunch and then another nice dinner.
Yeah.
Which I find like I can't. After a while, I just stopped drinking. Like I stopped tasting the wine and enjoying it. So it's nice to then. And this is one thing I
Stop.
don't get is the like combining wine with food, and like how it changes the texture and it changes the taste and all of that stuff. But
right.
I think that's like an important part of it.
Yeah, and certainly like those menus at the places, like at the wineries, like the restaurants are catered to the experience. So it's
Yeah.
like if you're tasting nice, like they're not going to pour you the wrong wine with the wrong food.
Right.
Like you can ask for it and they'll go, you're
They're like-
eating fish.
I
Sure you
think
want a
it's
your
not-
wine?
Are
I
you
don't know
high
if
out of your
it's-
mind?
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I don't know if it's the wrong thing. I think it's just that it won't. It's like this podcast. It doesn't pair as well. You can have whatever with chicken, but if you have it with this particular fish, that fish tastes so much better, and the wine tastes so much better. But I don't understand how that works,
Yeah,
and I don't understand that. So I just pick a red
No,
wine.
me
and
neither.
I'm off.
But
I'm eating all the food.
don't you find like, but don't you like, so do you mean when you don't understand that you don't
Yeah.
hear or you don't like taste the difference?
But I'm not
No.
very good. I'm not like I have a really crappy palate. Like I can't identify smells or tastes very well.
Okay.
Is it-
so,
Because of the COVID you had?
No, I was born like this. I was born
I
with
know.
COVID.
I'm kidding.
So I think maybe
But
that's
hey, we
it.
gotta ask these times. I mean,
Yep.
COVID's the thing.
That's true. That's true.
COVID's a thing.
Sorry.
So Brittany, you're
Yeah,
not
it's,
you're not a big
I-
fan of the
I
wine
do-
tasting?
No, I do like wine tasting. I
Oh,
like it.
okay.
I just wanted to acknowledge that it's an expensive experience. Like I really enjoy it.
And
Like
it
I
is-
like to
and
go because
everyone
it's
is
an
doing
experience with. Yeah, I just meant to say like it seems like our generation or whatever happened, like it seems to be like that used to be a really bougie thing to go and do,
Mhm.
and it seems like our generation is like, no, why don't we just do it? Which is interesting,
Right.
which I like because I enjoy doing it, but it is
I-
like not.
It's a big experience. Like it's a trip, especially for us, right? Because we're not in wine
Yeah.
country. So
Yeah.
it's not like we just go down the street. Like it's like flights or a big drive, and it's like hotels.
And the
And-
wine tour itself is expensive. 'cause
Yeah,
you can't
and
be
it's-
driving. You need to like
It's
be on
so
a
fun,
bus.
exactly. But yeah, you book a private bus, and I agree, it's so much fun. But it's not something you do just like you do it maybe once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you can. And
If
we're
you
lucky
can.
that we're like within 8 hours driving of like,
yeah. Like
Yeah.
we just happen to be close to like
and that's
one
not
of the.
very close.
No.
So
It is. Canada's funny that way. That and especially like as a person who's on the road all the time, that is like it sounds close to me. Like I'm always like, yeah, it's about 6 or 7 hours. But
Right.
in any other country, like specific, like Europe or like even the States is like the next city is not 7 hours away. But here in Canada, the next city is 7 hours away.
it can be.
So it is.
Yeah.
So
But I
it's
mean, if
funny
you were
that way
in
it
like France and you drove 8 hours, you'd probably hit like 14 different wine regions.
countries. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Do you know what
yeah.
I realized that both me and my sister's names are French the other day. I don't know because Chelsea, Brittany, and Chelsea. Chelsea's a region in France as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either. I
Yeah.
knew Brittany was.
Which is very funny. But yeah, so I do enjoy the experience. Like I enjoy the experience. I enjoy being there. It's fun. You know, like the people that do it are like they're bring you into it. They're little performers themselves. Like they're the people that come and like demo everything. Like
Yeah,
they
totally.
make that experience. Like
It's
when
like
sometimes
a show.
it's like a little show they put on. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And
No, I feel like it's very like warm and for the most part. We have been on a couple where you're like, oh, okay, this is very commercialized, very like
cold.
Cold, and like the smaller the ones you go to, the more like nicer the people are, and this is just the passion, and it's so cool. I guess it's you don't often get to go to somebody's work where it's their passion.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
You're
And I
not
think
going
although
to Safeway and being like, hey, I know you're so passionate about stocking these shelves.
I was very passionate about dragon fruit.
Yes, Brittany was very passionate.
Dragon
Sorry,
fruit
that was the
and kiwis were just really hit home for me.
Yeah. Sorry, I do apologize. We should have come to visit you at your work more.
Oh, you should have come. I was like a produce sommelier.
Yeah.
I was like, here. Have you ever tried a banana?
Oh my God, Brittany! I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say that. Because who hasn't tried a banana?
I'm doing like apple demos. I'm just like, ooh,
Who's ever
this
tried
Granny
this
Smith, little
exotic
tart off the
fruit?
nose?
Oh yeah.
And it's just like a fucking like.
I'm doing blind taste tests for apples. I'm like,
Just
all
an
right,
apple.
Mrs. Featherbottom.
Okay, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Featherbottom's from Arrested Development. It's just like their spin on Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just Tobias.
I feel like I
Fugate.
should know that because I've
Yeah.
started watching Arrested Development.
Nice.
Oh, it's
Good.
so funny.
It's
It's a
so
blast.
good. I love it.
I
love
mean,
it.
why do we
I'm so-
only do wine tasting? I guess there's cheese tasting. That's not really caught on that much.
But usually isn't it usually like wine and cheese tasting?
Yeah.
I've never heard
Yeah.
of just a cheese tasting.
But you could go do apple tasting. Why not?
I guess you
Yeah.
could do any tasting, really, if someone puts it on.
I would go to a chip tasting. That'd be good. Potato chip.
Me too.
That
I
would be
love
good. We should start a new
chips.
thing
Yeah.
where
Such
we
a
just
whore
like
for
blindfold.
them.
Yeah. So there's an interesting psychology to all of this as well.
Oh.
That I looked into. So one of the things is that you were saying you've got a shitty palate.
Mhm.
You know what? You're probably just being truthful, and everybody else is being snobby.
Oh, good.
Because
That's
we all have shitty palates. We're not trained in this. We haven't worked for years at this. We can't pick up notes on the back of our tongues. I mean, maybe some people can, but certainly not all of us.
Yeah.
And I think that we all just wine is again bougie. It's bougie, and the experience is bougie. And you're like want to be like, oh, can you taste that note of hickory? And no one wants to say no. Everyone's just you say,
Tastes
can you
like
taste that note?
garbage.
You're like, can you taste that note of hickory? You're like, can I? Oh my god, hickory damn near killed me. It's so stupid. Like, it's like, so that's what I watched a really cool video on this called Sci-Fry on YouTube, which is like science videos every Friday, and it was the science behind wine tasting, and they talked about they kind of called it the ravioli experience, where if you took ravioli out of a can and poured it onto a plate and shoved it in the microwave and handed it to somebody, they'd go ugh. But you took ravioli out of a plate and put it on china and served it to people and put them they would think, oh my god, this is the finest dish I've ever had.
Right.
So there was a
'cause
similar
The wine world is full of a lot of bullshit, right? I'm
yeah, they're
guessing?
horseshit. Well,
Yeah, okay.
so it's to me it's just fake people being fake as fuck, being like, oh, I taste this, oh, I taste it. You can't just be like, I like getting drunk outside and everything tastes different and I don't know and it's
Yeah.
fun.
And it's
Yeah,
fun. Yeah. And
Everybody's
I
just
don't mind
like,
a $20
oh.
versus $100. Like if $100 bottle of wine is probably not.
No,
Yeah,
you probably
so
couldn't tell the
that-
difference. At least
no.
we couldn't. And most people, like
Well, so
what Brittany's saying, most
Yeah.
people couldn't.
Most
Yeah,
people
most people can't. So they're like, scientifically, like the chemistry between bottles is so is not that different
Oh,
because
really?
it's smashed up grapes that fermented. Like there's
Yeah.
different notes and stuff, and obviously like one thing that is pretty cool is in the Okanagan region, some of these places used to they used to grow, like let's say peaches. It used to be a peach farm or a
Right.
nectarine farm, like a stone fruit farm,
Yeah.
and that soil then is enriched with all that the peaches, all that peach and stone fruit that was
Right.
grown there for hundreds of years, and then they put a winery there, and then the wine is going to reflect that peach and nectarine taste. That's not to say that that doesn't exist. What is to say is that if you think you can taste that difference, and you're not a professional and you don't have like some amazing palate that you've been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
you're probably lying to yourself.
Well, and I think
They
I have
said
to do. Sorry, I have to. We did do one thing that maybe contradicts that a little bit, and whether that's in my own brain or whatever. But we remember we went to a place and we did like 5 different Pinot Noirs,
yeah.
and they
Which
all
place?
tasted different.
Do you remember what place that was?
No,
I think that was nagging. I think
no,
it was
not
nagging
it was
doubt.
after nagging doubt.
Oh,
Um,
that's right. Well, and I do, but
I guess
again,
that's a
side
soil
by
thing.
side,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that's a soil thing, and side by side without tasting anything else, you're
Right.
tasting that next to that, next to that, next to that. You can taste the difference.
Yeah.
It's just to say you don't specifically know what that difference is. Like that, yes,
right.
that does taste a little more bitter. Yes,
Yeah.
that is a little more smoky.
Yeah.
So that was another thing that was mentioned to us, was that like with the wildfires again, the Pinot Noirs were coming out quite a lot smokier than they had in
Right.
previous
I remember them saying that. Yeah.
vintages. So that is all noticeable, but it's just to say that somebody like without a refined palate walking into a thing and doing a blind testing probably wouldn't be able to pick up the differences.
Right.
When you're doing a wine tasting, when you're engulfed in this experience, or rather immersed in this experience, everything is so subjectable. Like they even mentioned, so what I mentioned, the ravioli on the China example, but so they did an actual taste test where they made up a fake label,
Mhm.
and they put on 2 of the exact same wines. One of them said it was from California,
Yeah.
and the other one said it was from North Dakota. And they changed the price points of the wine, and they swapped in and out the different price points as well. So they tested all these different factors. And when they said it was from North Dakota and it was cheap, people don't associate wine with North Dakota, so
Right.
they just were like, yeah, that one wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And then they would taste the exact same wine again, say it was from California, the price point had changed, they'd go, oh yeah, because California's
Yeah.
the wines are a little better in California. So that was always funny. So that was a big funny one to me. And
That's
and again, that's
crazy.
sort of a
And that's
parallel
just
to
marketing and like
just marketing.
and just people being like kind of sucked into stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like one of my favorite wineries is the Hatch in Kelowna, and they're
Oh, we
yeah.
went-
Oh, you've got the Hatch one.
I've got some hatch wine. Yeah. I'm part of their club. I'm in the club.
You're in the club.
In the
and-
club. We went there, right? That's
Yeah.
we all went there together, right? Okay.
Yeah.
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 And their wine has very fun labels. So you're
Here, I'll show you
show us one of the labels, sir.
This one
Yeah.
is Unicorn of the Sea.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I like that.
It's exactly. And
Exactly. It's
I
just
got
marketing, right? It's marketing. and,
marketing.
like, yeah.
And I truly think that's the reason why I like it. Like, if I'm being honest with myself, the wine's great, but it's like,
Yeah.
I think I just like the bottles. I think I just like the effort. I like what it's all about.
Well, it makes the experience a little bit more fun and exciting, and like, here's another bottle of wine that I'm drinking. This is I'm drinking 3 different bottles, by the way, guys.
Atta girl. Atta girl.
This one, that's very basic. That's fine. And I mean,
Well,
I often will go off of a label for buying
Well-
when I'm just blind buying.
So I'm
Yeah.
drinking, and I'm sure this will come up later when we tell you all about it. But I'm drinking this particular wine, and just based off the label, that's easy to find in a store.
Yes, that's also
Honestly,
a really good idea.
Like I just know, I know that teal label, I know the silver top, and when I'm scanning for things, it's just like, okay, I need, and if it, and honestly, I mean, I don't want to be a snob about stuff, but it's fucking white wine, so it's just like pick up a Pinot Noir or Pinot,
Yeah.
Gris or
Yeah.
a, Sauvignon. It's fine. It's it's
what
not
it
like some
is.
big huge complexity to white wine, but
Yeah.
it's like yeah, that's a label thing for me, and honestly, it's because my mom drinks it. My mom drinks it. She likes it. I like it. I just pick it up, bring
Yeah.
it to dinner. It's easy.
Yeah, it's good.
Um,
Sorry, the white wine that I was picking up, I was watching a YouTube video about a guy that is I don't know what he does. He's like an accountant, but for wineries or something.
Yeah.
And he talked about Meiomi, Meiomi Pinot Noir, which is a California wine. It's very popular. Everybody has it. And he pointed out, he thinks it's kind of not great, and I also have been drinking way too much of it and now don't like it, but it has a screw top,
Mhm.
which means that it's much easier for wine restaurants to bring it in because they don't have to like seal it or anything. They can just put the top back on.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
see,
actually,
yeah,
that makes
again,
sense,
this is screw top as well.
Yeah.
It's an easy picnic bringer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going out somewhere, easy. Like, and I know with COVID times and everything, we've all been at each other's houses and like outside.
Oh
and
yeah.
you
How many
throw-
times have you been in a hotel room and you're like, oh no?
You're like, oh
We're
god.
trying the boot thing with the and
Oh,
like.
I can't tell you how many times I've stuck a pocket knife in a thing and then like knocked the cork in, and then everybody has to
Yeah.
drink cork in their wine.
Oh, right.
And then everyone, and then I'm just telling everyone, I'm like, shut up, you either want some or you don't. Like, I just immediately, it creates a situation.
Right.
Yeah, that's
You're
fair.
just draining it through a napkin. I've done that with my dad before.
Drain it through a napkin? Oh, that's a good idea.
Well,
That
yeah,
is a
because
good
all the
idea.
cork was in it. So he's like, get a napkin out
Yeah.
and pour it
Oh, he's
through,
smart.
and then all the cork. Because we had a
Also-
disaster. We had a disaster wine time. One time.
Also, I would trust your dad with any like sort of like tip and trick like that. I'm sure he's
with
like,
wine,
don't worry,
absolutely.
I got this. He's like, I got it. Don't worry about
He
it.
knew exactly what to do.
So I'll just sort of wrap up here, so we don't go into the 9th hour of Brittany does psychology as not a psychologist.
You're practically one now. You've done 2 years. You're 2 years into your.
You know what? Honestly,
your
Yeah, help me.
PhD.
help me help you.
Help me.
I'm like, we're all nuts. Everybody's fine. So the big experience and what I was trying to like sort of encapsulate is that we're so subjective to everything around us. So it's not just the labels. It's not just the description. Like, if it tells you it has notes of smokiness, you start to believe that. It's not just that. It's even the sommelier telling you that. You then identify with, this is a professional. This guy knows what he's talking about. So you might not actually taste that, but you believe it. And if you believe it, then you're like, oh yeah. Also, somebody standing next to you who scrunches their face and goes like, ugh. Like, you go, oh, is this gross? Like, you don't know yet, but for some reason you've made that choice based on that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. And then just kind of some fun stuff with red wine and white wine that there's like certain things your brain does that you don't even know you do. So if you're drinking from a proper white wine glass, or let's say you have 2 of the exact same glasses, and then you pour red wine into one and white wine into the other, your brain will are those the
They
exact
do
same?
it? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you did it backwards, but
Oh, more in this one?
yeah, the white wine would typically have more. You would pour more.
okay.
But if
I have
those
been
are red
drinking it.
wine, oh, okay, so maybe you did.
Yeah.
And they say up to 9% more, your brain automatically pours white wine because it's clear and you don't see it. It doesn't
Yeah.
register.
Yeah.
But the shape of a red wine glass, so not comparatively, but just specifically to red wine and red wine glass,
Yeah.
your brain instinctively pours more wine into a red wine glass because of the shape, and it doesn't, like, it's wider, and
Yeah.
you don't think it's filling up as fast.
Yeah.
So your
I
brain's
have-
like,
Oh,
oh, there's
wow.
not.
I have one that
Interesting.
is round at the bottom and then it goes straight up. And the actual, like, that round part is like a full proper glass of wine. So then if you go,
Right.
but that's like looks like a quart, like an eighth of the glass. But actually,
Yeah.
that's a full pour. And then but then I go over and then I wonder why I drink
That's-
a whole
well,
bottle.
Well, and that's the reason that
It
they're
happens.
those glasses, like the red wine needs to breathe a little more, so that it is a wider base and a wider. So it's
Right.
like almost like diffusing the pour just throughout the glass. But yeah, so red wine you will pour more into a proper wine glass, but white wine comparatively, if you're pouring in 2 equal glasses, you'll go more because your brain doesn't register the pour.
Right. White wine, you'll just suck it out of the bottle.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
honestly do. If I'm drinking white wine, it's hard not to bury a bottle.
Yeah.
If
Oh
I'm
God,
drinking
yeah.
red wine, I appreciate it. I drink it. I taste it. I feel like it's an experience. I feel like it's a luxury. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but with white wine, I'm just like,
White wine
"Yeah,
is it's child's play.
so good."
I'm trying to get back better into the white wine and explore some new stuff, but it doesn't have the same. Yeah, like I can just kind of switch off my brain and be like, I like rate all the wines that I drink on Vivino, and like half the time with a white wine, I'm like, I don't care. Like I don't remember.
Well, that's why. So it's like, and I actually had a friend of mine who was a sommelier. He would always say, like, if you're drinking a white, just find the cheapest one that you like the most.
Yeah.
Like, find something that you're like, yeah, that tastes good. He was always like, stay away from blends, and I love a blend sometimes, but
I love a
like especially with
blend.
red
Why
wine,
would
I'm
you
like,
stay away from
I
a
like
blend?
a blend. Get off my ass about a
Well, it was-
blend.
It's funny. He's like, find something you like, except for what you like.
Except for
Mhm.
what you like. No, but he was just like, do you know
Yeah,
what it
that
was?
one.
What was that really popular wine for a little while? And it was just like you would open the door and it was sitting at the door and every Apothic red.
Oh, Apothic.
That's what he was like. Stay away from the Kool-Aid wine. Like he's like,
Okay,
that's
well,
not
there's-
wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just sugar with red food color.
It's just not good. Yeah, like
Listen,
you
yeah.
literally drink it and it like coats your teeth like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like, God almighty. For a while that was like the wine everybody brought to a party.
Yes.
You're like,
Yeah.
you're like, dump it in the garbage on the way in. Um
Well, it was cheap, and when you're young, I mean, and they had good marketing.
they
Oh,
did
yeah,
have great
and you
marketing.
don't know.
Everyone thought that Apothic was like the greatest thing, and then everyone started drinking it, and they're like, "This is actually the worst shit I've ever tasted."
Like,
I
it's
think
actually pretty gross.
You do kind of develop a little bit. I say that I don't have a great palate, but I think you do develop it over the years a little bit. So yeah, I
Well, you
wouldn't be
could
able to
tell if
touch that
something
stuff now.
is fucking horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can tell if something's a
But I
dirty
wouldn't have
bag of
known back
garbage.
then. I wouldn't because I hadn't drank a lot of
No,
wine.
no, for sure.
All right. Well, maybe that's me wrapping up. Shall we move?
Nice.
Shall we move into the Carla portion, the historical portion?
Ooh,
Take us way back. Put us on a train
Carla.
and take us way back. Toot
toot,
toot.
toot. I'm not gonna go that far back.
Okay.
But that's
Oh,
okay.
Damn it.
I know. I'm keeping within, I think, the history, laws, rules, things. I'm going to talk about the Court of Master Sommeliers. So that's what we were kind of talking
Ooh.
about, the people that work in the restaurant that you can ask, what wine should I drink?
Yeah.
So you can just be a sommelier. You just have to, that's your job. If you just
Right.
get hired as a sommelier, you're now a sommelier. Like it's not like there are accreditation, but it's not. Lots of the times it's not. So
like you can just say you are?
yeah, I mean, as long as you probably worked, you kind of have to work there. Like you have to work being a sommelier, and then you can say you're a sommelier.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
But there's no you don't need the accreditation. Like a proper sommelier is like a 3-year course.
Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about
Really?
the proper stuff. But
Holy shit.
Okay.
just so you know, I didn't know that part. So the first use of the word sommelier was in 1829, which is the old French word sommier, which means a beast of burden, or it would be the officer in charge
Rolling
of provision.
Stones.
Yeah.
Beast of burden.
It would be the officer in charge of the provisions and the driver of the pack animals. So basically, he was bringing the wine. That was what he was doing, right? Or the drinks. Historically, sommeliers would actually deal with a lot of unlabeled wine bottles or barrels of wine as estate bottling and labeling individual bottles. So a lot of times you would just, have a blank bottle and send it off because it's your one bottle of whatever, right? Red. And because that didn't become standard until the mid 1900s. So back in the day, you really did have to kind of know your wine because there wasn't a label to tell you.
Right. Yeah. It was just like in a jug, right? A
So-
labelless jug.
I guess it would be in
Just
a
a
wine
jug.
barrel.
Or a
Yeah,
barrel.
a wine barrel.
Sorry,
Yeah.
a barrel. Whatever. Too many Game of Thrones. Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I
So this all started in guess a year. It's a while away. It's from far a long time ago.
Guess the year?
1801.
Sure. Okay, 1801. Brittany.
I don't know. I just guessed it.
It's a while away. You said that was your clue. 1763.
1363. Oh, so you're half right.
Wow.
Yeah. Kind
Okay,
of.
so
Kind of. They kind of are playing with this a little bit. But this is the 12 great City of London livery companies. These were guilds that would care for the other people in their groups, kind of like unions, I guess now. And one of these groups, one of these 12 groups, was the Worshipful Company of Vintners. And they were in charge of importing, regulation, and sale of wine. But then eventually they lost control because the government deregulated all this stuff. The government's been regulating things from
Oh yeah.
many,
Don't trust
many
them.
years ago. But it was not until 1953 that the Worshipful Company of Vintners and the Wine and Spirit Association decided that they were going to hold an exam about the wine trade. Because before, like I said, you were working in that job, you were a sommelier. I mean, if you sucked and you were like, yeah, apothec with this lovely steak, then you probably don't get to keep your job for very long. But
Hey, I gotta tell you the truth. I was an elevator mechanic for a long time. I did go to school for it. Didn't know what I was doing a lot of the time. Sometimes I would just show up and people would
anyone
go,
know
"Do you
what
work here?"
anyone's doing in their jobs?
I know.
No.
I mean, I
It's
would
really
hope
not a
Brittany,
big
you were doing
deal.
some, or you should give us all the buildings you worked with.
Someone checked my work.
That's fine. Yeah. So 21 people took the test. Only 6 passed. And they were made the heads of the Institute of Masters of Wine. So they let a bunch of different people take this test, including winemakers, buyers, journalists, shippers, business owners, consultants, academics, and wine educators. You kind of forget how much is involved in the wine buying process.
Oh, yeah.
Selling process. all that stuff.
Totally.
So, but they did not let anyone in the service industry test for it.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
They were like, nah, they don't need to know. You're like, they're literally the ones that are talking to the people about the wine. But okay,
you're
that's
like-
fine. I suppose it is like a lower class thing.
Well, that's not
Which-
fair.
I know. Oh, sorry.
Classist devils.
Mhm. So in 1969, a test was created to encourage sommeliers to study and become professionals at this. And by 1977, the Court of Master Sommeliers evolved into an internationally recognized organization. So the original test was actually too hard. So they added an introductory course and then an advanced and then certified. So the original test became like the level, the like big baddie level 20 or whatever. Well, level 3.
Sounds like Scientology.
Yeah.
Or Pokemon.
Or even
I'm
more fun.
level 33, just like everyone knows.
Okay.
Just in case you guys were wondering. I'm Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Oh.
I haven't played it in forever.
I didn't even know
Gotta
what was
add
going
me.
on until Lena was playing it when I came in one time.
Oh yeah. I play it all the time on my off season. My off season is when I'm not working. Sorry, carry
Right.
on.
Okay. Only 236 people have passed all 3 sections of the test. That's in the whole world.
Wow.
wow.
Holy shit.
Like currently still?
Yeah. as of whenever I got this information, which would be in the last couple of years. It could be different now because of COVID. I'm not sure what happened with COVID.
People lost their taste.
Probably
Probably.
less people would be.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Can't
But
even taste tomatoes.
it has 3 different sections to the test, which is service, theory, and testing. Or sorry, service, theory, and tasting. Sorry, there. Yeah.
That makes more sense.
That
there you
that
go.
makes more sense.
So service, would be like how you actually like cut the thing off the like
Oh, you went like
that's the top part of the thing. You can only make 3 cuts, I believe. Yeah, you have to serve this person above this person. So then theory would be, a lot more about what regions there are. And I mean, like, it's insane. It's a ton of information. And then the tasting would be, you would have to taste and describe it, and then you would have to identify where it's from, what grape it is, what winery it's from, like crazy stuff. So there's actually a really good book if you're looking into this called Wine Girl, which I'm just going to grab her name.
Carla, they named a book after you.
I know.
wine broad.
Wine Girl. It's by Victoria James, and so she was one of the youngest females to become a sommelier, and it's very interesting just to read from the perspective of working in the service industry and the restaurant industry, but also like the amount of work you have to do to put into this test. Like, this is like passing the bar kind of thing.
Right.
Wow.
Like, it's that
Yeah, that's what I
intense.
mean. Like these, like yeah. When I was like, I have a couple of friends who are not like that, but they have to pass these like insane tests to be.
Yeah.
It's a big program, and you have to go to the places. Like some of these, you have to like go to Italy.
Oh,
for.
that's
you have
a
to
shame.
go to France. You have to
go
like.
Yeah.
Do you imagine?
But
you gotta have the
like,
money.
I'm sorry, I have
Yeah.
to go to Italy for school
Oh,
and to
God,
taste wine my whole life.
She
Dude,
was a very
you know
poor
that-
person growing up. Victoria James, she didn't have she definitely came from like the wrong side of the tracks. That's in quotes. She did not have that kind of money. Like, she didn't have the kind of, because you have to also be able to taste like really nice wines that are stupid expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
And she couldn't do that. And so, she would be taking time off work to go to these things. And it's a crazy investment mentally, physically, and monetarily to get into this.
I really imagine people who talk about it though. I bet you that they're just like Lena said, like like they're talking like at a dinner and they're just like, oh God, I wish they could come next weekend to your baby shower, but I'll be in Prague. Like, why are you in Prague? You're like, oh God, it's
I'll
just
be
a
at work.
thing I'll be at work.
Drinking
Sometimes
wine.
Anything.
In the office, like taking pictures out a plane window.
Right.
Just
Life
in
is
the
tough.
office for the day.
Oh my God.
Home sweet home. I've always thought of fucking Venice as a home away from home.
Oh my God.
Oh,
You
God.
guys.
I can't find it right
Oh,
now,
we
but I
have
do know
fun.
she talked about it in the thing. Damn it. About you, if you do spend too many days tasting wine, your mouth starts to bleed.
Yeah, I bet, because it's so
Oh.
acidic.
Yeah, there's
Oh, like you get like ulcers.
yeah, like there was a ton of
Mouth-
stuff.
Yeah.
that
I've heard
sh-
of that. Yeah.
Like, it's crazy that we were like, oh, we'd love to go away for the weekend, and actually you're like, oh, that maybe doesn't sound as much fun as I thought. And
She's like,
also,
I
it's
love Lucy.
I love Lucy.
Like smashing grapes, like I love Lucy, like in the big fucking grape thing. And she's just like, oh, my feet have blisters. It's like the sad reality of what smashing
Mhm.
grapes with your feet is.
Yeah. So this test only has an 8% pass rate. Only 149 master sommeliers are in the U.S. The court exams include, like I said, the service and blind tasting section, whereas like the other ones are more about the theory and facts about wine and stuff. So and
Right.
regions probably. And you can only take the master's test 3 times. And then if you fail 3 times, which is quite common, you have to return back to the beginning. So it's very much like a video game. You have 3 lives.
very
Yeah.
You gotta go back
And
to the
like
beginning.
even more crazy than like a driver's license.
Driver's test.
Yeah.
A driver's
suppose so.
test.
Yeah.
I don't. This is so.
The guy who
weird.
invented the blindfold, like the blind taste testing, he's just like, I'll close my eyes. Don't believe me? Hand me a blindfold. You're like, oh God.
Oh,
I'm just painting a very persnickety picture here.
that's okay. That's okay. My last fact here. The salaries. Okay, so this is the other kind of sad thing. Salaries for sommeliers for passing level 1. So this is if you get actually to that professional test and you pass the level 1, are $55,000 a year. I believe this is an American.
Wow.
Advanced is 87, and a master is like 164. So it's a lot,
Wow.
but also you have to be tasting all the new wines that come out. You have to be like really on top of that stuff. So yeah, it does sound a little like
It's pretty intense. It would have to be your world. Like it would have to be like something you
100%,
were
yeah.
so passionate about
Yeah.
and that you really enjoyed doing, and like otherwise all that effort and all that, like, because like that's not just a regular job.
no.
That's not like a, like, in the end result isn't overly tangible. So you'd have to really like be able to be like, yeah, I really enjoy doing that.
And
It's
the
very
thing, yeah,
important to me.
at the end is you're still working in a restaurant and people are shitty to you, and because that's what people do to people that work in restaurants, sadly. So yeah, it's a weird thing, but I mean, it's an interesting lifestyle. Like you said, you do get to visit lots of neat places, so that's good.
It'd be awfully cool.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty
and if
sick.
your job, that's your full-time job, is just to like
Taste wine.
taste wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool story, Carla.
So it's just
Perhaps
the history
Lena.
of a sommelier, so not the sorry. Yeah.
Yo, that's fun. I was into it.
Okay, good. Are you gonna take
Okay,
your
great.
test? Are you gonna take your level 1?
I am gonna test. I'm just taking my level 1, and then I'm gonna when I go to parties, I'm gonna go and not on my watch.
Precisely.
I'm gonna
You're
go.
like,
What's
you
that
made 4
steak?
cuts to get that top off rather than 3.
Oh
Let
my
me do
God.
it. Pour that wine out.
Do you know what I?
That one.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna, when people pour a glass of wine that doesn't pair well with a meal,
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk around with a garbage bin and I'm gonna dump their meal in the garbage bin and I'm gonna go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you wanted to eat garbage trash."
Right.
And people are gonna, I'm gonna slowly get uninvited from every party.
Yeah.
And then no one will tell me why. Like nobody will tell me why I can't come. I'll just like
Mhm.
one day I'll just be sad and alone in a basement and I'll be like, just like with post-it notes with different wine regions written on them, taped to the wall. Oh,
So-
God, I don't want to.
It's a sad story.
It's a sad story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Lena, can you
it's a
Yeah, you guys.
time old tale.
bring us
All right.
up?
Speaking of-
Lena, bring us up.
Bring us to the.
Bring us out
Speaking
of
of
the
time old
depths.
tale, yeah.
No, I don't know that I can. You guys are in too deep. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Get out of the
Get out of the
depths.
depths.
Okay.
Throw me a life jacket.
All right, Lena, give us your pairing.
Well, my pairing. Okay, so originally we were gonna do this episode like a few months ago,
Yeah.
and so I decided to do Sideways,
Mhm.
and I watched Sideways.
And how'd you
And
feel about it?
I mean, it was fine.
Yeah, I didn't
It was
really
kind
like
of
it when I watched it, but
It was a bit. It's a bit pretentious. Like it won all these awards, and it was just like boring. Like it was. The acting was great. Sandra Oh's in it. I love her.
I'm Paul Giamatti, right?
Yep, Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, yeah.
Guy
Yeah.
and
Is it Thomas
what's
Hayden
his
Church?
name?
Is the other
Thomas
guy?
Hayden Church, which I always like. I always think he's somebody else
Right.
because of his 3 names. I think
Right.
he's always somebody. I don't
I just
picture
know
him.
him from Ned and Stacey.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm looking at
Um,
a picture of him right now. Handsome devil.
Oh,
Oh yeah. No, he's cute.
oh, I don't know. blonde.
So, anyways, I scrapped Sideways.
No, oh no, I wanted to talk about Sideways. I was excited.
No,
'Cause-
let's talk
Okay.
about Sideways. Let's
no,
talk.
no, it's okay. All I was gonna say is that there was this sideways effect or something,
Yes, let's talk about that. Let's
Okay.
talk about that.
but then we can just jump to your next thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. Yeah, so apparently like with so the movie is these two guys go on kind of like a boys trip to wine tasting. Like one of them's like recently like divorced and the other one is getting married.
Oh,
Thomas Hayden Church. So they're kind of doing like a boys trip to Sonoma?
no, Napa.
Napa.
Napa's the fancy one. Sonoma's
Hey,
the
I
really
watched
good
this a long
one.
time ago.
Oh,
I didn't really
Oh,
like it.
really?
Who cares?
Yeah, and it's just like what did I write down for things? It was basically like
But I think that's where all this wine tasting thing started.
yeah,
Really?
probably. So they went on like a big wine tasting. So I wrote down
Yeah.
hijinks ensue, pretentious, which is I
Mhm.
thought the movie was pretentious, and trip goes to shit. That's what I wrote down.
Okay.
I like it. Those are good reviews. That was actually you should
Not
know
really,
the
but it's-
very last movie I rented from a video store.
Really?
Was
How do you
Sideways?
remember
Yeah.
that? How do you remember that it was
The
the
reason-
second last one?
Oh my god.
Because it was I kept it and the video store was like called me a couple of times and then they shut down. And it wasn't like the last blockbuster on the planet or
That's
whatever
in
that is,
Oregon,
but it was
by the
just like it was closed. That is important. But it was like it was just like the last time I rented a movie from a video store because then Netflix started coming out and all these different
Right.
things. And it was that, and I rented that movie and a movie with Lindsay Lohan and where she's like a runaway, and it was such a good movie as well.
Oh,
Dermot Mulroney was in
crazy.
it.
oh, of course.
I love Dermot Mulroney. But so it
Yes.
it was interesting. I remember watching it and just being so confused as to why this was like the big watch.
I know it won so many movies.
And
I
was
don't know if
like,
it's
what
the
is this
wine.
Sorry,
about?
awards, not movie awards is what I
Right.
meant to say.
Yeah.
But you've seen it recently. Is it because you have to like wine to like it, or is it just a weird movie?
I don't think you have to like wine a lot,
Okay.
like at all.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, it
kind of one
was-
of those like the guy's like a depressed divorcee,
Yeah.
like trying to be like a writer, and he can't,
Poor guy.
you know, get it.
Oh, it sucks, dude. And that's what I drink.
Well,
I remember most of the characters being assholes, which is not a great.
Yeah, there was not really like
thing.
a likable thing to it. Like I kept
No.
waiting for the
No,
moment that I was
they're
like
all-
supposed to enjoy it.
yeah,
That's
no,
art.
totally.
So
But
sorry.
that's
Do you know what the sideways effect was?
well, I think it got people going to Napa.
Right. But I think there was
Um,
something else.
That's
about
all I
it.
know about it. So
I'm just gonna Google. Sorry, guys.
It says the sideways
Google.
effect is how
Anyway,
a wine
honestly,
obsessed
like,
film
everyone-
reshapes the industry.
just
Ooh.
go watch the movie. And because I was talking to my mom earlier today and I was telling her that I was going to talk about Sideways. She's like, and she really liked it. So it just depends on who. She's like, oh, that was a really great movie. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of thought it was boring, but like, you know, it just depends
Huh.
on.
Maybe
I watched
And obviously, a lot of people liked it. I mean, it got all these awards and nominations, and the
it was a
acting is
comedy,
great.
right? I think,
And-
but not a comedy.
Comedy and drama, I would say. And I love Sandra Oh. She's in it.
Yeah.
Love Sandra Oh. So I mean, if anything, watch it for her.
Canadian.
Right.
Sandra Oh's
She's great.
Canadian.
Yes, she is.
She absolutely is.
It is seemingly and great pairing actually, Lena, because it's kind of like a great like take on or parallel to rather wine tasting, because so many people like the award-winning wine, the most expensive wine, the most pretentious wine is maybe just as good as a $20 wine, and it's not good at all, and it's all got all this buzz around it, and that's like, so it's kind of like a good parallel to draw between, because a lot of people didn't like it. They were like, well, what the hell is this? And then people who seem to know a lot about films we're always trusting the Academy or like all these like awards that are given out. We're trusting that they are picking. They're like the sommelier of our of like films, to be like, hey, like
Brittany,
this is really good. Watch
Yeah.
this, and then you watch it, and you're like, is it? I think part of
not a lot of Oscar films that I like.
no.
I mean, art is subjective. That's a whole thing. I mean, that's with anything. I think that probably happens it definitely happens in my world in writing. It definitely happens, I'm sure, in stand-up even is weirdly.
What's
probably happens
stand-up
in the office
is beyond subjective. Do you guys
like
want to
the
know something so funny?
comedians- Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I'm just like I take things really literally for like the oddest reason, because I'm never literal. I'm always sarcastic, and I never mean what I say. But if I read or see something or hear it, I'm just like, it's this. I'm hearing this. I just
do
remember you
remember that.
trying to explain what funny was. You were like, you didn't.
I'm
he's not-
explaining funny to you.
I was 10. I mean, you were like, but still, I take things so literally. So like,
It's
I was
going
like,
to fucking
But I feel like
hanging out with Russell Peters.
yeah. But I feel like this happens in a lot of different industries, like where the funniest comedian to comedians is not funny to the normies. The actors that think that they're the best actors or whatever, we're all like, that person's a joke.
and the wine that people can taste, that we aren't getting the notes that they're getting because they're so like sort of above whatever. Yeah, it's like, it is funny that way. It's like, it is so it's all so subjective.
Yeah. Sorry, going back to the sideways effect. What I was thinking about, because I remember coming across this and then I couldn't remember what it was. Apparently, the actor Paul Giamatti, is his character. He says, if anyone orders Merlot, I'm leaving. I am not drinking any Merlot. And apparently that had some kind of effect on Merlot, but also Pinot Noir, I think they mentioned in the film, Lena. And that's what.
Let me check my note.
Okay. That's what spawned this massive Pinot Noir thing. That
really?
We are all just in now. I'm tired of Pinot Noir now.
Pinot Noir is always such a nice treat, but it's a big taste. It's like a big.
It's very bold, right?
I don't know. It's very like light.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, I want a wine that like slaps me in the face.
Oh, okay.
What would be like a bold? What would be like a bold wine?
Like a Merlot or like a Malbec.
Oh, okay.
Merlot is like Merlot's like the IPA.
Yeah, I guess so, right? And also this goes
wine world. It's like you're gonna taste everything in it.
Yeah, like a beer, the same thing. This happens in the beer world because we're all in the middle of like crazy beer. If you order a fucking Canadian,
you're like the world's. I know everyone. I just ordered. I was like, I was just get a Keith's and clam the other day, which I've ordered my whole life.
Yes.
And
Keith's
somebody was like,
a good beer,
and I was like, Keith's is fucking delicious. First of all, and you know what?
I don't need your pretentious ass beer,
but
it gives me a fucking headache.
It's in everything. Yeah,
totally. So,
but you're right. I was having like I was having a sour the other day. I do like sour beer. I like beer. I like all different beers. But I was having
Brittany
a sour
does like a strawberry, and some of them are good.
Some of them are headache bound.
That's it.
I had a strawberry basil, and then my friend was having an IPA. The strawberry basil was unbelievably delicious. It was like perfectly.
Where was
sour.
that from?
I was in Banff. I was at Banff. It was nice. And then the gal that I was with was having an IPA, and she was like, "Oh my god, taste this!" And I tasted it, and I was like, "Hate it." And I was like, "Taste this," and she was like, "Hate it." And then we loved, subjective.
Not everyone likes the same thing, right?
Exactly. And that's why it's kind of fun to go for like wine flights or beer flights, because you get to try all the different stuff.
Yeah.
And then nobody likes the same thing, and it's interesting.
Totally. Yeah. So can I just say, like, quickly that Sideways was not my actual pairing?
Oh yeah, sorry. Do you want to sorry. Do your real pairing.
Very quickly.
Okay.
an episode of if anyone knows me, you know that I love my Frasier.
Yay.
So
Frasier.
there was an an episode of Frasier called Wine Club.
Oh my god.
Wine
This episode.
spelt, yes, Brittany knows.
WHINE.
Yes, like whining, like cry baby cry.
Oh.
And so the premise is Frasier is setting up a brunch to meet Niles's new girlfriend Mel, who
Right.
like is
What
this, like-
season is this? I just looked up.
Season
Oh,
7.
I'm not there yet. Okay.
It's season 7.
'Kay.
So Frasier went along for 11 years. It's almost
Well, there's like a couple of other episodes that are earlier that I was like, oh, I think I've seen that one. There's like a lot about wine and there's a lot about joining clubs.
totally that's their whole life.
Love it.
So anyway, so Frasier's trying to go he tells Niles and the family that he's going after like the cork master position at his wine club. and then Mel, the new girlfriend, like Niles' girlfriend,
Uh-oh.
encourages Niles to do it.
Of course.
Something he never wanted, but now. So the two brothers, they go on like they're both nominated, and
The shenanigans. I can just see them.
shenanigans. And
Shenanigans
it's so funny.
ensues.
They have to do a wine tasting, and they have to do a blend.
Oh.
So Niles wins by 10% because the blend that they have to guess is a cab, which is 45%, which is Frasier guessed, and then 55 was Merlot, which Niles guessed. So Niles wins by 10%.
Oh my god.
So, anyways, they hate each
Oh,
other
love
like
it.
in every episode, and that's just my favorite show.
So good. I remember when they were competing to get into the
dynamic-
same club.
I know.
And that was another like little thing of that. It's very cute. It's very like how brothers and sisters are. You're like
Yeah.
subtly
Anytime I think
competing
about
all the
wine,
time.
I always think about Frasier.
Yeah,
But anyways, that was my
that
Cork
was a good
Master.
pick.
And they have a whole like Cork Master song, which is
Oh,
Ooh.
I'll sing it for you one time. Just watch the episode. It's season 7.
let's get through the other like
whatever.
what 6 times 24 episodes. So that's how many hours? 48 hours of Frasier ish. Wait, how did I get there?
It's not enough. I could watch
No, that's not
Frasier
enough.
every day of my
Sorry.
life, all
Um,
day.
48. No, wait.
In fact, I'm gonna go watch Frasier when we're
Right
done.
now. You're
I'm like,
I'm
actu-
going now.
Actually, I'm leaving to go on Frasier.
I-
I think that have you guys seen that Conan? Have you guys are Conan fans at all?
I used to be.
I like Conan.
more.
He asked his he
Why
told
is
his
Conan so sad?
oh,
Why
he's
is that
so,
lady Conan so sad?
He's so tall.
so tall. He got his assistant to watch Friends. He did a marathon of Friends because some big like celebrity fired their assistant for watching Friends marathon on the job instead of like watching the security cameras or whatever. So then Conan was like, I am gonna get the laziest person I know, my assistant, who does nothing anyways, to see how many episodes of Friends she can watch in like 3 days or something.
Right.
And they just did a montage of Sonam Accessian watching just hours and hours and hours
Oh.
on the clock, and he was so proud of her when she like beat the record.
Nice.
He's like, if there was anyone I knew who could work less, it was you.
Very
So-
good wine pairing. I would
So
definitely
funny.
drink red wine, a very nice red wine. Oh, what an
At the wine
experience.
club,
From the
at
wine
the wine
club?
at the wine club, watching Frasier, maybe a little
mix?
fire going.
would you try to be a cork master?
No, I would let Frasier do that. Obviously, if this is the fictional world that I'm in, I would be
Well, Niles would
sucking
be the
up
cork.
to both of them, wanting them to be my friend, so that I could go to the opera with them and then be like, I don't understand what I'm doing here, and I hate all of this.
Oh God. Opera's a hard one to get into. That's another pretentious like hobby that I'm like, oh, it just sounds like they're wailing away up there. Let's move on to the next section, which is the
Yes.
wine tasting portion of the show.
Yeah.
Carla did her due diligence, which is typical of this podcast, and got all 3 wines. So we're gonna be maybe we'll lead off with Carla,
Okay.
and she can take us through her wine selection. The audience that we all were tasked with picking a red, a white, and a rosé. And I guess maybe take us through the wine that you picked, why you picked it, and a few things about it. And then we can
Okay.
watch you taste them.
Okay. Okay. So I mentioned I'll do the right way to drink it, which is white to rosé to red. This is a new kind of wine that I've never heard of, but was talked about on this podcast. I think it's Bad Boy Running or something. It's a running podcast
Ooh,
video
damn.
thing that my husband made me watch. It's called Vermentino. Again, I'll hold this up.
Ooh.
It is
Nice.
a type of white. I think it's from Sardinia in that area, but I'm not sure if this one specifically is. And the reason that I got it was this guy recommended it as a white wine. It's a very nice price point. It's like $20, $25. It will now
Nice.
sip or smell and then
Ooh.
sip and
Smell first, I think.
then... Mhm.
I'll do the same, but I'm just drinking beer out of this.
It's very appley tasting. I wouldn't say it's anything memorable.
Okay.
I could drink it. It's not like it would be a nice. I mean, I drink white wine out in the garden reading a book. This would be fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Nothing to write home about, but not bad.
No, definitely not. I would recommend if you're looking for like a different thing to a Pinot Gris or Cab or no, sorry, what else is the other ones? The other white wines.
We'll
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah,
never-
this is
no-
a
no one
type
will
of
ever
white
know.
wine. Okay, this is the other one. I thought I'd go real different for this.
Oh, I like
Snoop
that.
Dogg.
This is okay. So the 19 Crimes expanded to California. And 19 Crimes is a red. A lot of it's red wine, Australian. They did a thing with Snoop Dogg. I really, really liked 19 Crimes wine. I had to stop drinking it. There's too much going on in there. I don't like.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Snoop Dogg, did you make it better? No, it tastes like fucking juice.
Gin and juice.
Gin and juice.
You didn't use
Checking
what?
that.
On gin and juice.
Okay, it is a lower alcohol. It's 10%. So maybe that's why.
What
there's
is that?
just-
Why does it look like Kool-Aid?
Because of the fucking color.
Oh, okay.
So no, it's not good. Don't. I mean, unless you're 12 and you need some juice. Sorry,
Then
Snoop
sip
Dogg.
away.
I'm very disappointed. I was hoping that he did good, but
You had big hopes for that one?
yeah,
Oh,
He's
sad
like,
day.
don't worry, I already made $1 billion on
I
this."
know. He's like, I
He's
don't
like-
care.
He just like picks up like 9 other things that he's
Yeah.
cross promoting. He's like, do you like these shoes? How about this hat?
Yeah. How about this
Like
weed, I
weed?
probably made?
Yeah, weed.
Oh, for sure he's
and
made weed.
the third one, the Hatch, which we talked about. This one's called, like I said, the Unicorn of the Sea. It is a Malbec Syrah. So this is like a
Ooh,
wow,
big taste.
big taste. Slap in the face. Smells nice. Yeah, and that's a nice, like, full body. Could I tell you anything that's in it? Absolutely not. It tastes like a really nice, bold red wine. But I like a bold.
I like a big red wine. I
Perfect.
like a
Big
big
red wine.
taste.
Perfect.
So out of those 3, I think we can obviously see which one you like the best.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I probably will always go with the red, but I love when we get surprised. That's the thing that I always find when we go on wine tastings. I always get surprised by at least one white wine.
Right.
And
That's
I'm always
true.
like, damn, this is really good. It's never
Um,
a Chardonnay. It's
was-
never a
I know.
Chardonnay.
Dude,
I
I
was
was just gonna
just
say,
gonna say
it's
that,
it's
actually.
Not
I very
Chardonnay
rarely-
is disgusting.
It's so funny because I've been with you guys and on a wine tour, and you
It's so
guys were
gross.
all like, no to the Chardonnay. We did have a really nice one at Nagging Doubt.
That's true.
I don't think it was a Chardonnay.
No,
it was
but
because
we were
I'm
yelling
sure-
about it.
Carla was like,
no,
I remember
I'm
Carla
sure it
making a
was
big thing
good,
of
but
it.
you know
Yeah.
what? Even that, I probably wouldn't even buy it.
But then I went to Sonoma with my family, and all of my family was like, "Do not give me Chardonnay." So I don't know. I don't know who they're making this for. Who's drinking Chardonnay?
It is so popular, and I don't know anyone that likes Chardonnay. It's
I don't know
so
either.
gross.
Yeah.
We actually were out. We were out with a friend the other day, and she ordered Chardonnay, and I felt so like judgy. I felt so bad because she ordered it, and then I went, "Did you mean to order the Chardonnay?" And actually, hilariously enough, she goes, "No, I panicked, and it was the first one I saw."
Oh no.
I was like, "You should call her back because you're not going to enjoy that." And then I was like, "That's not your place to just like dive in on."
No, but you were right. No one
She
likes
was like,
Chardonnay.
"No," she's like, "I actually hate Chardonnay," and I was like, "Oh," she was like, "I just saw it," and she was.
But I
here,
love
and
how the
panicked.
house white anywhere is like always
Probably
a Chardonnay.
Chardonnay.
You're like, why?
I know.
Probably
I was
'cause
like,
it's-
"What's your?"
I haven't had a
Probably 'cause
house
it's-
wine in forever. I kind of forgot that was a thing.
I
Oh,
love a house
no.
wine. I usually go like.
all
but
I drink is house drinks, house
Me too.
beer.
I go,
house
"What do you got on
wine."
special? What's your house beer? Whatever. What's your?"
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna go out for a night of like, like top to bottom, we're getting her accomplished. Then I'm just drinking house beer. I don't care.
Right.
Um,
House beer. That's fine. House wine. It's been a while.
It's on tap. That'd be funny.
Fair enough.
Wine
There
on
is
tap.
there is a winery, not winery. There is a restaurant here that we've been to a couple of times that I make you guys go to. They have their wine on tap, and it's really good.
Really?
But you can't
Where
get
is
it in anywhere else. You can only get it on tap.
Which one are you talking about?
What's it called? Right, we went for dinner with. Did we go with Mel the other week?
Oh yeah, we went to the place in Marta Loop there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts with an M.
Oh, Merchants.
Merchants.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
actually-
an interesting thing.
Oh,
I've
we
been
did
there
order
with
that
you
wine on
guys.
tap, and it was
Yeah.
good because you suggested it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah. But that's different than a house red or white. Generally, a house red or white is they just have too much of a bottle of something, and they're like,
right.
All right. Should we progress? Should we?
yeah. Who
should
wants
we?
to go next?
Lena, are you comfortable going next, or do you want me to go next? Okay. So the ones I picked were I picked a Pinot Grigio from New Zealand. I showed it earlier on. This is my white. This is Matua. This is a really nice wine. I've been drinking it throughout the podcast. This is like a go-to. The price point's good. It's like $21 maybe. You know, like sometimes it's always on sale for some reason. You can get it like
on sale.
you can get it at Costco. I think it's like $16. You know, like whatever you get from Costco is like always cheaper. This is a nice wine to just have with dinner. Like this is a good table wine. This is a good. It's crisp. It's light. It's not too like. Sometimes at the end of a white wine, like this is like I said, this is a Pinot Grigio. Sometimes they can be a little, like you almost get that like taste at the end of a white,
Yeah.
that burning sensation.
Yeah.
And this doesn't have that at all. Like this is a nice dry white. It doesn't have that sour like yuck at the end of it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's more. I suppose I lean towards that when I pick a
Right.
wine. Just
And
because
New
it's
Zealand Pinot Grigio is very good. They do good white wines.
yeah they've got it figured.
New Zealand has a lot of things figured, including their wine.
including their wine.
Especially their wine.
Yeah.
And another thing, New Zealand. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen for a hot sec
Oh,
here.
look at us.
Look at us
doing technical things.
doing a thing. You'll probably this has just got the photo number on it. It's so unprofessional, but here you go. It's gonna be fun. This is my rosé. And this is from Vibrant Vines.
I love
and
this
I have
rosé.
tasted this lot in person. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to see this wine because you got to go to Kelowna to get it or buy it in stores.
I
close.
can't find it anywhere.
I can't
in
find it
Calgary.
anywhere in
Yeah.
Calgary, but it did hilariously enough. It won the Alberta Award for Best in Show for that
Oh,
particular.
nice. And I love the
wine.
label.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And
I
the pink
love it.
lid. I've actually kept that bottle, and I think every time I've ever given anybody that wine, they've kept the bottle because it's so much fun.
Yeah, so this is a little about it. It's a refreshingly dry East Kelowna rosé. It is a blend of Riesling, Pinot Auxiliary. How would you say that? Auxereux and
Mhm.
Gerstewiner.
Gewürztraminer.
Gewürztraminer. That's a hard one to
Oh
say.
yeah,
That took
we
me
learned
like
that
4
word.
years to
Oh,
figure that out.
Gewürztraminer is a hard one.
Gewürztraminer, yeah.
Blushed with Merlot. So it's nice. They say it is predominantly floral nose, and it's full of honeysuckle and elderflower. Elderflower is one that I typically lean to for some reason, and it's not
So
even a taste I
good.
knew I wanted in my life.
Very good in gin too. Oh,
So good in gin, so good in
Mhm.
like we had a there was a cider with elderflower that Lena and I
Okay.
really used to enjoy.
Oh
With
yeah.
hints of
Yeah, that was good.
hibiscus, which or herbis. No, not hibiscus. How would you say that?
herbaceousness. Herbaceousness.
Herbaceousness. Oh,
Which I
okay.
think is one of those like fancy words like terroir.
Okay, herbaceousness. I'm going to use it now. Could you use it in a sentence? You're like yes, with hints of herbaceousness. On the palate, it begins with the crisp characteristics of fresh pink grapefruit, leading seamlessly into long, juicy finish, bursting with Okanagan tree fruit flavors. So I remember tasting this at the winery. And it being delicious. It was fantastic. It was actually, this was going to be my funny Chardonnay. I have like a big stink about rosé for some reason. I'm like, people are like, would you like a rosé? I go, no, thank you. And I don't know
Rosé all
why.
day, dude.
And this is the funny thing.
Maybe
I think
that's why.
because I
Rosé
think
all
it's like a
day.
bit basic or something. I didn't want to be like, but you know what? Shut up. Just if it's good, drink it. And that one is.
You know what? Shut the fuck up.
You know
I
what?
have to say, the Okanagan seems to do some of the best rosés. Like, I like French and Californian, but really the Okanagan seems to do just perfect. I don't know. There's just so many good rosés.
It was very good. And for those who haven't been or those looking to go to the Kelowna or Okanagan region, Vibrant Vines on the east side of Kelowna is this
Very cool.
really very cool, unique experience.
Yeah.
You go in and it's like just drenched with art. It's just the pieces are almost psychedelic. Like you
Yeah,
go
it's very
through
like
there.
LSD kind of like art.
Yeah, you're on kind of a wild ride when you go in there.
Brittany got me this at some point, or I think maybe it was Chantel. Somebody bought me this. It's blue from Vibrant Vine.
Nice.
And it's they have a very cool speakeasy in the basement, and also
Brittany
some
has
real good.
performed there.
I'm now over at the Crown and Thieves. I associate with the Crown and Thieves folks who
Oh, yeah.
actually organize.
Hatch.
They work. That's the Hatch. You're right. Yep. So those are my people now.
The same.
One and the same owners. Yeah. Okay, I will move on to my red, and this was actually, it's so funny that off the top I was so persnickety. I was being persnickety about wine tasting being persnickety, which is funny. But this was on our wine tour. This is a wine from called Nagging Doubt. And do you remember this winery, Carla?
Yes, I do. It's very like.
I
close
also
to my
remember
heart.
it. I'm here too. As well.
Oh yeah. Also, Lena, do you remember this
Lena,
winery?
were you here?
No, I don't remember. No. Yeah.
It's
I
a
do.
very small operation. They don't have a lot of wine.
It was like the
types.
one guy.
Yeah, it was like the one guy, and it was just really intimate, and the wine was really good, and also they had a Chardonnay that we didn't hate. So,
So it was
Yeah.
basically the best.
mind blown.
This is fun. Here, I'll see if I can share my screen on this just so you can see the bottle. This was a very cool. This is called The Pull, this particular wine, and it is a yummy little treat.
Very nice.
Here you go. Share that screen. You can see that, but it is a little more expensive.
Great.
This is
I think that for a good bottle of red, 30's good. If you're not drinking it on a Tuesday and you're gonna waste half of it,
yeah.
I'll do
Yeah,
it.
It was I really enjoyed it. It was again big flavor. This is a blend though. This is not this is a delicious blend. Forgive me for a second here. I'm just pulling up it's that was the 2020 bottle actually, but we would have tried the 2019 bottle, I think.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
pull. So the pull consists primarily of Merlot, which is 47%, Cabernet Franc, which is
Oh, yeah.
27% of it, a Cabernet Sauvignon, which is 18%, and then a Melback, which is 8%. This is a big wine with intense nose of black, cherry, plum, blackberry, baking spice, and hints of chocolate and tobacco. And I actually remember him saying the tobacco, and us being, and again, maybe it's that subjectiveness, but I
It could be, I
remember
don't know,
tasting
yeah.
it and thinking like,
Yeah.
I remember being obsessed with that place when I left, and just like sort of obsessed with the atmosphere and
I'm still obsessed with
and
it.
kind
I
of what
can't
he had
wait to
going
go
on.
back.
It's so good. So yeah, those were my three.
Very
my
good.
3 picks.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that us? Is that Lena? Did you want to add anything? Did you have a wine, or were you thinking of a wine that you liked to typically drink?
Yes. Do you know what I was thinking?
What?
So, you know, a lot of people are broke and don't have any,
Money.
palettes
Are
for
you going
wine.
to teach us how to make toilet wine?
Yes. No, I'm talking about Barefoot,
Yes.
which we've all bought
Yep.
in a struggle or not.
Mm-hmm.
So my white is a Barefoot Moscato.
Yes.
Oh.
I know exactly. I can taste it.
I can't have Moscato. Too much. I'm like drinking. It's like drinking honey, right? It's very sweet.
Yes, totally.
But sparkly. It's very confusing.
Yeah, it's weird. Moscato is weird. So, and the red is the pink Moscato.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is just rosé,
right,
of the Moscato.
Uh-huh.
And the red is a red Moscato.
I don't think I've ever had a sparkling red wine.
Oh my god.
Well,
hey.
but okay, so like when I was shitting on this and I was looking it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jennifer Wall is she's the winemaker,
right,
in California. She's a mother of 3 and the world's most awarded winemaker.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Well, this is according to the website.
Right.
I mean, it could be true.
It could be. I mean, like, I've always heard about that. It's one of those wines that I remember from, not as a child drinking, but I would recognize that bottle as like a 15,
I'd recognize that
14
anywhere.
Yeah.
No, totally. And you can get it anywhere. So,
Yeah.
I mean, she's winning. Yeah. 20 years ago. Yeah. It said she
And it's a Californian. I didn't know
she's from
California.
she's
she's
received over 2,000 medals, countless accolades, and people like buy this around the world.
Yeah. If you hadn't tried a Moscato, though, I would definitely, I don't know what the right circumstances would be for a Moscato, because it's heavy. It's like a heavy sparkling wine.
Right. I didn't even know what a Moscato was. And I picked all of these as...
It's like an aperitif drink. I think if you had it at the end of the night. Okay. What does your mom call that, Brittany?
Your
a nightcap?
A nightcap.
A nightcap. Oh,
but
I thought she had a funny name for it. Sorry. Never mind.
No, she calls it, but she's very specific about a nightcap. A nightcap has to be in a nicer glass than you were drinking before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you would bring out you got a nightcap in a nice glass. It's a short, like crystal, preferably a short glass, filled with lots and lots of ice, and it's heavier. It's a heavier pour.
Right.
So you're almost doubling the alcohol volume. The nightcap's to put you to sleep.
Right. Yeah.
It's your last drink of the night, and it's very like, that's her nightcap.
Totally.
I think you could do a Moscato too,
as a nightcap.
As a nightcap, it might have too much sugar. I don't know.
You can
but
do
quite
anything as a nightcap.
Yeah.
Anyways, Barefoot has all your needs.
All your needs come. All your Moscato needs.
About it. Everyone's tasted Barefoot.
Yeah.
If you need something, just go to the local liquor store.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
And in saying that, you guys, cheers. This is a fun episode.
Cheers.
Another filmed episode. Clink.
Clink.
Oh,
Um,
I do have a
Here we go.
Clink.
There we go.
cheers.
Clinks. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning into this new format. If you like it, let us know in the comments. I guess we're going to be putting this on our new YouTube channel. So like, subscribe, hit the notification button. That's the only way you can grow a channel, and the only way we can continue is if you do those thingies, the
Yes.
YouTube thingies.
And also check out our Patreon. Lena, do another little dip with your head, little bowie.
Oh yeah,
There we go. We've got some merch on Redbubble. Very cute.
very cute.
It's so cool. I have so many comfy sweaters.
So many little things
yeah,
going
it was
on.
very nice.
And this hat.
Yep. But just go to our website, which is
www.lifepairingspodcast.
I'm like, are we all supposed to say it together?
No, I don't know.
At
I thought
gmail.com.
I just assumed Brittany would start talking, and then she didn't, and I was like, "Oh no!" Shouldn't have interrupted.
I actually just gave you our email address, which is even funnier. It's just lifepairingspodcast.com.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can
Also-
also email us. Email
Let
us
us know.
and tell us what you think of things.
But
What's
in the
your
meantime,
favorite wine?
yeah, what
Do
is
you
your
like
favorite wine?
barefoot wine?
What's your favorite boxed wine? Oh my god, tell us what your favorite
Oh,
boxed
yeah,
wine
yeah,
is.
yeah.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're really, really grateful for those who do listen and continue to support us and encourage us. And we hope that you guys have an awesome week. And we'll check you out next time.